Hi everyone. For the sixth consecutive year, Honda is inviting riders and dreamers alike to celebrate creativity on two wheels. At the legendary Wheels and Waves Festival in Biarritz, France, Honda once again showcases an eclectic mix of customized, tuned, and modified motorcycles, all part of its pan-European Honda Customs competition. This year, the spotlight shines on something truly special, the all-new GB350S, newly introduced to Europe and ready to be reimagined. Compact, versatile, and full of character, the GB350S perfectly blends the charm of classic motorcycling with modern performance. Its single-cylinder engine, retro lines, and pure riding spirit make it the ideal foundation for customization. With its ride with life, live with passion philosophy, this machine captures the very essence of freedom, the reason we all fell in love with riding in the first place. To bring that vision to life, Honda has challenged 11 talented custom builders, a unique mix of dealers and specialists from across Europe, to reinterpret the GB350S in their own way. The result? 11 extraordinary motorcycles, each telling a different story, each carrying the heartbeat of its creator. Now, let's take a closer look at these one-of-a-kind custom builds, crafted with passion, precision, and pure imagination. We present to you the Rocket Lion by Honda Motorcenter León, Spain. A love letter from the Honda Motorcenter León dealership to the classic café racers of a time gone by, the Rocket Lion embodies Honda's renowned build quality, attention to detail and smart touches from our long and illustrious past. The Rocket Lion utilizes a modified RC181 fairing and screen up front, paired with a custom rear cowling for unique side profile and silhouette. The cowling works in conjunction with a custom seat, itself shaped to give the bike the riding position of an old-school GP bike. Michelin Road Classic tires, titanium hardware throughout, and an official Honda color paired with a patina-riddled oversized logo all form part of extensive specification list. Next up, we have the Clubman TT, built by Mallorca Motos from Spain. Taking inspiration from a later period of competitive motorsport is the Clubman TT from Mallorca Motos. The Spanish dealer has leaned into the GB350S's 1960s, 1970s aesthetic and taken inspiration from the 70s street racing movement with its stubby clip-on handlebars, and short seat unit with integrated rear hump lowering the bike's silhouette. A blacked-out shotgun-style exhaust amplifies the single-cylinder's sonorous beat and turns up the style. As do the three-spoke front and solid rear wheel, used to offset the unique paintwork, a color that cycles through multiple blues and greens, emulating the sea and trees of the Isle of Man. This is the Miranda, built by Honda Motorsport Los Rozas in Spain. Paying tribute to the rebellious and free spirit of vintage motorcycles, Miranda, named after the 7-year daughter of the project leader, is a classy, effortlessly cool balance of aesthetics, functionality and personality. Designed by the all-female team at Honda Motorsport Los Rozas, Miranda has a few touches that enhance the original silhouette, such as the new headlight cowl with integrated screen, and revised seat, all finished in a retro-rich mixture of crisp white and candy pink paint. But the revisions aren't just aesthetic. A free-breathing aero exhaust system liberates the GB350S's voice whilst YSS rear suspension units beef up the GB350S dynamic attributes. Meet the MBX 350, a unique custom built by Servihonda Malaga, Spain. Cutting a unique shape in the competition is Servihonda Malaga's MBX 350. Focusing on a completely different decade, the MBX 350's look is defined by its squared-off styling, and an iconic paint job evoking memories of the Spanish-made two-stroke MBX 80 of the 80s. To ensure a near-perfect facsimile of the MBX 80, historical parts have been adapted and modified to fit the new frame and deliver an almost factory level of fit and finish. Refinished wheels, forks and swing arm in bright silver, plus evocative Pro-Link decal in red, further differentiates the MBX 350 from its rival builds, while period-correct square mirrors and a stubby Tavi exhaust system round out the modifications. The MIA was built by TubaisMoto from Portugal. Portuguese dealer TubaisMoto's MIA is a cafe racer-inspired entry to Honda Customs 2025. The upright frontal fairing and old-school screen are pure 1960s racer, and the blacked-out chassis offsets the fairing's riff on the classic HRC color combo of red, white and blue. The complementing stripe that runs from nose to tail is subtly graduated out over the rear cowl, making the whole color scheme pop. Further adding to the retro aesthetic is the low-slung blacked-out exhaust and wire-spoked wheels. A new tail unit, with subtly integrated compact LED light unit, ensures modernity. Here it is, the Okira, a stunning creation by Ruleshaker, France. What if forgotten pieces from the past could inspire tomorrow's style? Designed and styled by Freaky Debbie, Deborah Amaral, a Paris-based fashion designer specializing in upcycling, and prepared by Ruleshaker, the idea behind Okira is to create a one-of-a-kind motorcycle and matching outfit using unsold apparel and gear or pieces from past racing events. The result is rideable artwork, dressed by a fashion designer and presented as a manifesto of style and intelligent recycling. There's so much to see, with a riot of leather everywhere, plus a glorious patchwork of HRC-inspired red, white and blue paint. Next up, we have the Silver Bullet, built by Farnham Honda from United Kingdom. Silver Bullet is without doubt a classic take on true British cafe racer style, and from the swoop of the nose cone fairing, aluminium finish fuel tank and svelte single-seat unit, it drips style and intent. Sharply raked clip-on handlebars sit well below the top yoke and match rear set foot pegs mounted on beautifully machined hangers. Braided hoses hint at impressive braking power, as does a wave-style front disc. And, just to cement its performance potential, the bike rolls on full racing slick tires. We present to you the FTR 350 by Vertu Honda, United Kingdom. FTR 350 takes inspiration from flat track racing, with a minimalist aesthetic and a focus on performance, handling and noise. A new, upswept seat section continues the soft curvature of the fuel tank, with the headlight replaced by a number board. Finished in custom red paint offset by white, black and blue graphics, the bodywork screams classic racer as does the blacked-out frame and wire wheels. Braking performance is bolstered through the addition of braided brake lines front and rear, an open cone air filter and custom high-level exhaust, finished with a CR race fit can liberate the single-cylinder engine. Let us introduce the Swiss Wing, created by Pellicari Design, Switzerland. Swiss Wing is a unique creation born from collaboration between Honda Moto Switzerland and Pellicari Design and inspired by aeronautics. The modifications include unique full wheels, louvers, rivets, hoses and screws. The large Honda wing on the fuel tank is beautifully marked out, all borrowed from the world of aviation. The engine breathes through a compact, forward-facing air filter, the sprung seat sits atop dual exhaust mufflers, and the design also incorporates retro white wall tires, blacked-out rear shocks and candy red paint that evokes the Swiss flag. Next up, we have the Hachimaan, built by Honda MAAN Motocicli Audaci from Italy. 2022 winners, the Sardinia-based MAAN Motocicli, are back once again with a truly unique take on the GB350S. Named after the Shinto god of war, Hachimaan represents that fighting spirit and adopts a Japanese bobber style for an exercise in complex simplicity. Beneath the glistening blue paint, a number of custom components such as a bespoke hardtail frame section, low-capacity peanut fuel tank, and handlebars that are devoid of clutch and brake levers that create a clean, uncluttered look. The ghosted flame paintwork, with detailed knurled flames on the forks, shifter with foot clutch, and stubby exhaust exude custom style. And finally, we present to you the Grand Biarritz by Sporty bike from Germany. A stealthy entry inspired by road and cafe racers. Grand Biarritz is finished in a classic black-gold color combination. Subtly modified, the bike features yokes dropped through the forks, lowering the front end, giving a more purposeful, sporty stance. Completing the chassis modifications are new handlebars with more aggressive angle, bar end mirrors, and grips for a harmonious, cafe racer look. A blacked-out exhaust system, with color-coded heat trap, adds both style and tone, while the new rear shocks add to the gold accents, and work with the tidied rear end. A custom-stitched seat completes the build. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the winners of the 2025 Honda Customs competition. First place, Hachimaan from Italy. Taking a total of 9,572 votes, which is 31% of all 30,094 cast, this was perhaps the most extreme reinterpretation of the GB350S. Created by 2022 Honda Customs champions MAAN Motocicli, the Hachimaan adopts a bold Japanese bobber style, finished in a deep, glistening blue and packed with custom components that make it truly one of a kind. Second place, MAAN from Portugal. Neck and neck with Hachimaan throughout the voting process was Portugal's MAAN, a retro-styled machine that channels the pure spirit of the classic cafe racer. Built by the team at TubaisMoto, MAAN features a custom upright front fairing and an old-school screen that scream 1960s racer, complemented by a bespoke close-lung, blacked-out exhaust and wire-spoked wheels. Third place, Grand Biarritz by Sporty Bike, Germany. Just like in 2024, Germany once again takes a place on the podium with the elegantly subtle Grand Biarritz. Created by the team at the flagship Honda Center dealership in Frankfurt, this custom combines timeless black and gold styling with refined modifications, lowered front forks, new handlebars with a sharper angle, bar and mirrors, and fresh grips, resulting in a perfectly balanced cafe racer look. The 2025 competition saw a record-breaking number of visitors to HondaCustoms.com over the summer, casting a total of 30,094 votes, a 19% increase compared to last year. Each of these builds took the GB350S in a completely different direction, a true testament to the versatility and creative potential of this motorcycle as a base for customization and personal expression. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel for more custom motorcycle stories. And if you want to help more riders discover the GB350S and these incredible builds, share this video on your social networks. That's the best way to keep the spirit of customization alive and growing. Thanks for watching.